Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
Do you agree or disagree with the statement that female and male university students should have separate residence halls?
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
I disagree with the statement that female and male university students should have separate residence halls. I believe that having shared residence halls helps foster a climate of mutual respect and understanding. Co-ed living can serve as a reflection of real-world environments where both genders cohabitate, whether in the context of work or home settings. It also promotes diversity and can contribute to a student's social and emotional development. Furthermore, gender should not be a basis for segregation, but should rather serve as a foundation for acceptance and unity within our society. Therefore, it is essential to encourage mixed-gender residence halls in universities.
Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
What do you think of the proposal?
I think it'll work. I mean, the range of the station now is basically limited to the campus, and so it's basically just a few programs, mainly for students.
Yeah?
Well, if this proposal goes through, there will be more programs, and it'll give the students more professional experience as they experiment with programming for a much larger, real-life audience. And stuff like that'll give them a better shot at getting a job after they graduate.
Of course.
Besides, the whole university will benefit from it.
What do you mean?
Well, you know my friend Tony, right? He told me that the radio station at his university did something like this about 5 years ago.
And?
Well, it's a success. They are making a lot of money out of commercials, and they are using it to offer more scholarships and to help fund projects to renovate the facilities of other programs.
That sounds really good.
The woman supports the proposal described in the article. Explain why she thinks it will achieve the university's goals.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The woman in the conversation supports the proposal because she believes it will help achieve the university's goals. First, she points out that currently the radio station's range is limited to the campus, which means that there are only a few programs available mainly for students. By expanding the broadcasting range, the station will be able to reach nearby towns and attract more listeners. This will not only provide more programs for a larger audience, but also give students in the communications program more professional experience as they experiment with programming. The woman also mentions that a similar radio station at her friend's university implemented this kind of expansion and it has been successful. It has allowed them to generate a lot of money from commercials, and they have used this revenue to offer more scholarships and renovate other program facilities. Overall, the woman thinks that the proposal will benefit both the students and the entire university.
Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
I'd like to discuss the cultural significance of paleontology. Paleontology is the study of prehistoric life, and it includes many disciplines such as geology, biology, and anthropology. This field of study has played an important role in shaping our understanding of the natural world. One of paleontology's primary cultural benefits is that it helps us understand the evolution of life on Earth. Scientists can learn about extinct species and how they lived by studying fossils, providing a window into the past. Not only is this information fascinating, but it also helps us better understand our own place in the world. We can learn about species evolution and how they adapted to changing environments, which can help us protect endangered species and preserve biodiversity. Paleontology is also important in the study of human evolution. For example, the discovery of early hominid fossils has enabled scientists to reconstruct the evolutionary history of humans and their ancestors. This understanding has aided our understanding of how our species evolved over time and the factors that shaped our evolution. We can learn about our own behavior, culture, and biology by studying early humans.
According to the lecture, what are the cultural benefits of paleontology? Use points and examples from the lecture.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The lecture discusses the cultural significance of paleontology and highlights several benefits. One major benefit is that studying fossils helps us understand the evolution of life on Earth. By analyzing extinct species and how they lived, we can gain insight into the past. For example, the discovery of early hominid fossils has allowed scientists to reconstruct the evolutionary history of humans and their ancestors. This knowledge has helped us understand our own behavior, culture, and biology. Additionally, paleontology can aid in the protection of endangered species and the preservation of biodiversity by studying how species adapted to changing environments. Overall, paleontology plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding of the natural world and our place within it.
You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
When people are in difficult situations, sometimes they experience feelings of helplessness or psychological pain. So what do? They unconsciously use strategies called defense mechanisms to protect themselves psychologically from their painful emotions. Let's say a woman has a pet dog. She's had this dog for a long time, and he's kept her company and guarded her for years, but one day he runs away. This woman looks everywhere and asks other people if they've seen her dog, but she just can't find him. Now, she feels helpless and sad because she misses her dog, so she'll unconsciously find ways to deal with her painful feelings. One defense mechanism she might use is fantasy. With fantasy, the woman uses her imagination. So, instead of just feeling helpless and sad about her lost dog, she invents a happy story in her mind. She might imagine that a nice family found him and feeds him, and that he's really happy with them. She'll picture the dog playing, running around, having fun. Because of this fantasy, she doesn't have to feel sad about her dog running away. It's a fantasy. It's not real, but it keeps her pain away. Another defense mechanism she might use is what we call sublimation. Sublimation is different from fantasy because sublimation isn't about pretending. It's about turning negative emotions into something useful, practical. So, the woman might start a dog training school. That way, by training dogs, perhaps she can help prevent other people's dogs from running away like hers did. In other words, with sublimation as a defense mechanism, the woman redirects her negative feelings about losing her dog into a positive, constructive activity.
Giving points and examples from the talk, describe the two defense mechanisms mentioned by the professor.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The professor discussed two defense mechanisms people use to deal with difficult situations: fantasy and sublimation. Fantasy is when someone uses their imagination to create a happy story in their mind to avoid feeling sad or helpless. For example, the woman in the lecture imagined that her lost dog was happy with a new family, playing and having fun. On the other hand, sublimation is about turning negative emotions into something useful or practical. In the lecture, the woman started a dog training school to prevent other dogs from running away, using her sadness about losing her pet in a positive way. Overall, both fantasy and sublimation are ways people unconsciously protect themselves psychologically from painful emotions by either imagining a different reality or channeling their negative feelings into constructive activities.